Do you want to know how to teach a child with autism? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds, neurodiversity, child development, and education, all through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we're talking about teaching autistic children. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the unique struggles that autistic children have, and then we're going to talk about what you can do to help autistic children who struggle be more successful with their education. Everyone loves to learn. There's so much liberation and freedom that comes from learning new things, and just because a person is neurodiverse does not make that any different. In fact, just because that person might be autistic and sometimes not paying attention or acting like they're interested, that does not mean that they don't want to learn. And just because they're interested in only certain topics but not others does not mean that those other topics are off the table. The autistic child needs to have the opportunity to learn everything. And that means that sometimes the parents have to help that child prepare for learning something they may not want to learn. It is true that autistic people are much more rigid in their brains. There's certain things they want to do and certain things they don't want to do. Oftentimes, there's higher levels of anxiety that are associated with autism, and that can create an issue with wanting to learn new things, wanting to learn even at all, or in general, just to sit down and to put in the time. I know this can be very frustrating. So what I'm going to say first pertains to you, the teacher. If you want to make sure that you create a good, safe, encouraging learning environment for your autistic child, then you need to be self-governed. You need to be calm yourself so that you can have patience, understanding, and continue to direct and lead that learning experience, even if the child is acting like they don't want to participate, or they might even be having a tantrum or a meltdown about it. Now, this whole channel is dedicated to self-government. It's called Teaching Self-Government because it helps parents learn how to teach self-government to their children. But the very first lesson in self-government is really you self-governing yourself. What I recognized when I did therapeutic treatment care for troubled teens a long time ago, many of whom who had autism, was that I needed to be in control of myself the very best possible in order to influence them so that I could teach them and train them better. That meant I had to have calmness, patience, understanding. I had to describe things a lot. I had to be okay with repetitious teaching, having the same lesson again and again, and sometimes with the outbursts. I had to have a plan for those outbursts so that even if they happened, I wasn't going to second guess my parenting and the direction that I was trying to take that child. The parent needs to have confidence. That's why your self-government is so very important. At the end of this video, I'll be talking about a Calm Parenting Toolkit that I have on my website, teachingselfgovernment.com, where you can learn some steps for calmness, some tools for calmness, so that you can have better self-government. It's a perfect starter piece for learning self-government for yourself. In no way is it going to give you all the skills of self-government, but it'll be a really good first taste. So let's talk about what's going on with the autistic child. The autistic child likes structure, they like their rhythm and their flow, usually to maintain the same. They also like the freedom to be able to ideate on whatever they want to ideate on. They like to just go deep into their own little world and not be disrupted in their thoughts. I mean, if you think of it, who doesn't like to go into their own little world and not be disrupted in their thoughts? As a parent, can you even imagine a day where you don't get interrupted by someone? This is something we all crave, but we have to learn that we don't get to have complete control over everything around us. As a foster parent for neurodiverse, troubled children, I recognized that it would be a disservice to the children to make it so that their environment never ruffled their feathers. That might seem like a nicer thing for me because I don't need to deal with the meltdown or the anxiety or the anger that might come from that autistic child. But actually, in reality, it wasn't nice to me either. I had to try to control everything in the environment of the child in an effort to control the child. I soon realized that was absolutely not the right way to help this child. If this child was going to grow into functioning adult, they had to learn how to accept no answers, how to follow instructions, how to accept consequences and disagree appropriately, just like every other person would have to do. If you've already subscribed to this channel, then you know I talk about those skills that I just mentioned, the 4 basic skills, a lot on this channel. If a person can learn to give themselves instructions, no answers, correct themselves, and disagree appropriately with others, those are the hallmarks of being a truly self-governed person. And this is what we're going toward with our children, which means we have to help them initially learn those lessons and correct them consistently in order for them to get there. Now, I want to share with you an experience. There is a mentor. So I have mentors that I train to teach self-government. They're called TSG mentors. The TSG mentors live all over the world and have different backgrounds. Their children have different issues. Some of them are therapists, doctors, psychologists. Some of them are parents who have just dealt with some really extreme situations. And some of them are just, regular parents who maybe haven't had that extreme of situations. But there was one parent who I went to do a home visit at their home in Australia. And this parent has 4 children. Every one of them is neurodiverse. They're all autistic. They have ADHD and different things like that too, along with it. And this mother was working hard at trying to implement teaching self-government in her home, but she felt like she was having a few hang-ups because of the autism. She actually thought that this one child, her most extreme case of autism in her family, could not learn how to do this very well, and so really had a lower bar for the child. And when I went there, I said, nope, she can do this. And so we're going to go ahead and hold her to the same standard and it'll be okay. I think the parents thought, oh, I don't know if this is going to work. I mean, why did we have Nicholeen come all this way? Because this child, it's never going to happen. Did the child have a meltdown? Yes. Did she have some major meltdowns? Yes. Did she even do one in the Australia Zoo in front of a whole bunch of people? Yes, she did. But you know what? She's now amazing. She doesn't melt down anymore. She doesn't need to. She discusses, she disagrees appropriately, she accepts no answers. She's almost the best at it in her family because she has decided to focus on it and that she needs it and she knows it's liberation for her. She thanks her mom for going through the work of doing the teaching self-government program in their family. This mom did the course and she's done parenting mastery trainings and she did an in-home training and then she did the mentor training. She has really gone through a lot of training and she's now teaching other people with autistic children and just children who are neurotypical too, how to self-govern. There are so many mentors who teach what I teach, who have dealt with autism in their families and they've had similar situations occur. Teaching a child with autism starts with them learning how to follow instructions, accept no answers and criticism, accept consequences, and disagree appropriately. Those are the things that are getting in the way of teaching them anything else, like math or reading or science or having them be able to sit still for a minute to do something. They have to be able to follow an instruction then, and they have to be able to accept no answers then, and it takes some work. So it's foundational. So take a break from some of that other school stuff. Do a little bit of it, but really just focus on learning self-government, those skills and principles of self-government, and do it in a calm way so that you can be confident and assured and assuring for them too, so that they can see, I can do this. If you say, I know you can do this because other people have too, then they will be able to do it. There's no magic pill for teaching a person with autism how to do their math facts or to read or to even behave properly. There's just work, principles, and skills. And the work's on you, but the principles and skills I can help you with. And I'd like to start with the principle and skill of calmness for you so that you can be a better instrument in your own home, helping your own child. That course I talked about at the beginning, it's called the Calm Parenting Toolkit. It's on my website right now for free. There is a link in the description below this video that says teachselfgov.com/toolkit. And if you go to that link right now, you can have that Calm Parenting Toolkit, which has 10 tools for calmness, and it will start you on a road to self-government, a journey that will help you and your family for generations to come.